Hello there folks, it's TIJ Gaming and welcome back to the F1 2012 career mode with Williams, and today it is time for the 6th episode and the 6th instalment of the 2012 Formula 1 season. It's one that I'm not particularly sure that I'm particularly looking forward to, because this race is Monaco, the Monaco Grand Prix. Now, it's not a favourite circuit of mine, but in some ways it's a big potential for big points. As you probably know as a Formula 1 fan if you're watching, Monaco is a track that basically you've got to have your wits about you to overtake in, which I think we've got our wits about us, and at the same time I think we can qualify well. But on the contrary, if we don't qualify well and we have a scrappy race, hit the wall, etc, etc, then it could be A, a very boring race for you guys to watch, and B, a disastrous one in terms of our points. Now, I know I've just completely gone down the wrong way in terms of marketing and advertising. I'd have been booted out of the company now if I was the Monaco advertising chap, but nonetheless, don't be put off by that, because it should be a good race here at Monaco. But just a reminder before we get into it of how we've done so far. So ourselves and Maldonado are both now level on 14 points after Pastor Maldonado scored 12 points in Spain, and that leaves the championship looking like this. Maldonado's in the top 10, with us just behind him in 11th. We've buttoned at the top of the championship by quite a bit, and Hamilton, Vettel and Alonso just behind Jensen. But amazingly, as I pointed out last time out, Romain Grosjean and Perez are above Schumacher and Webber, which is quite a surprise, and they've had quite a bad start to the season. So in terms of the constructors' objectives for the next few races, we're 13 points behind Mercedes, 20 behind Lotus and 29 behind Sauber. Now, ideally we want to beat Sauber. That's our biggest objective before the end of the season, because I think Lotus and Mercedes will probably beat us anyway. But I have to say, Sauber are 29 points above us, so it's going to be tricky to catch them up. We want to make sure we beat that team in the next few races, just to diminish the gap and lower the gap, minimise that gap, of course. But the teams behind us are no threat, so I think we'd take 7th place in the constructors, but of course we want to strive for something a little bit higher. But now we're going to go to the Circuit de Monte Carlo on Saturday afternoon and see if we can get anywhere in qualifying. My opinion is we probably won't, but you never know, something could happen. Is there any chance of rain? I don't think there is. If we look at our emails, I think it's all dry. It is all dry, but of course we don't know till we get there, and we can't. Oh, for goodness sake, we can't be. We won't know what the weather is till we get there. So I'll shut up. Hopefully the controller will start working now, and I'll see you guys at the start of Q1. Well, as you can see, it is bone dry here at the Monaco circuit, and I have to say the weather conditions look really nice. There's no touch of cloud anywhere on the circuit, so we're going to get out there, which we are now. We've got a little bit more fuel in the car than usual, but not as much as we did in Spain. That's a bit ridiculous. We're just going to try and put a few hot laps in. I think it's probably here all about experience, as proven by that first corner twitch there, and hopefully we are targeted to finish 14th in this qualifying, so hopefully we can get out of Q1, but a scrappy start to the lap, to say the least. Well, you know that something's wrong when Heikki Kovalainen's above you in the standings, although I've got no idea why it says his lap is a 2:24 something, but finally we've beaten Heikki Kovalainen, and it seems we're quite a way up above our teammate Maldonado as well, so we're quite competitive here. Never mind. I was optimistic for a minute, and Maldonado has just gone and set a lap that was a second quicker, so we've got to keep up with Maldonado, because if you remember in the last episode, the team were like, oh, there's a teammate challenge that's got to be won here, and you've got to start setting times that are better than Pasta's. But will we take this time? Yeah, it's fairly close to Maldonado, just don't muck up the last sector now. And we're in pretty good stead, and it seems that if we can get this lap in and get it fairly close to Pasta, and we've got a lot of our curves left, so that will be of advantage to us, that we should be in good stead here. But let's have a look what lap we do come out with. It's a 1:16.2. Get in, we beat our teammate Maldonado, which I'm sure Pasta won't be too pleased about. But we're really getting into the spring of things now. It seems that it's a Williams 1-2 with Hulkenberg and De Resta below, but we're way clear of the bottom 3 team, so I think we've got a place in Q2. But just for a bit of practice, it's not going to hurt to set a few more laps, because we've got the fuel to do so anyway. Well, this is a turn up for the books. With 5 minutes to go, we're top of the times. Blimey, look at this. Ourselves, Maldonado 1 and 2. I wouldn't mind that as the grid for tomorrow. Blimey, look at Kovalainen. I mean, he's overachieved massively. P11. This is brilliant. Daniel Ricciardo and John-Eric Verne both going out as it stands. So let's watch what happens at the bottom. I'm very intrigued to see what happens, because it's quite close, to be fair. A HR2 within a second of getting into the next session looks very tasty, but I don't think they will. It doesn't look like it's going to change unless Ricardo does anything magnificent now. And amazingly, we are top for the first time in a qualifying session. Look at that. Ourselves and Maldonado 1 and 2. That is fantastic. And the Caterham of Heikki Kovalainen getting through those as well. That's fantastic. I have to say, though, both the Sabres and Mercedes teetering on the edge of going out there. But both Toro Rosso's out as well as a Caterham, both Marussias and both HRTs. And I'll tell you something, if we can get anywhere near to that sort of place on the leaderboard, both of us, not just me, if we can get anything close to first and second in the second qualifying session, I am going to be tremendously happy. Oh no! Oh dear. Well, we've come out to set our lap a few minutes later than everybody else. Luckily there's still about 10 minutes left in this session. But there's rain on the ground. I mean, we're going to have to try and get a lap in before this gets worse, because we might not get an opportunity to do anything later in the session. I mean, we set a 1:16.3 in the previous session, so we can get through, but it's just about if the weather holds up, and it might be a bit more slippy here than I anticipate. Luckily, though, I have to say, I think the weather's on our side. I'll say this will probably spin out the next corner. But the weather is on our side, I'd say. I think it's obviously wet. There's rain falling down, but the grip's the same as it has been previously, which is really positive. I think we've got quite lucky here, but I think after this lap there's not really going to be much we can do. Oh, just trying to find time there, and we cut the corner. We're going to have to be quick because we've now got to find another 1:17 in which we can get a time out this track. Just tapping the wall there. Look how much quicker we were than Hulkenberg's time. We've really got the pace today in this Williams, and that's really exciting, but unfortunately, this race is all about qualifying, so we're going to have to try and do it again. Well, we're back at the same position. Let's see if we corner cut again. We're going to be quite careful here now. We might lose a few attempts. We've lost a lot of time there, actually. Just mucked up that one completely. But hopefully it doesn't stand in our way. I have to say, we're doing really well here. And look how, well, I thought that was the sector line. Whoa! Oh, for goodness sake, what are we doing? What are we doing? Ugh. Dear. We've spun, and we're just going to have to get on with it. 2 laps that have been really quick, but possibly just too quick. I mean, we're trying to do a 3-point turn here, and it's turned into about a 10-point turn. And I'm surprised we haven't got a penalty for taking Perez out, but we're just going to have to get on with it here. We're really teetering on being possibly the fastest driver or out of Q2. This is crazy. We've got to pull a lap together, though. I mean, there's only so long this track can stay dry. I mean, it seems that the rain is sticking to the ground a little bit now, and the conditions are a little bit harder to drive in. But this makes this lap all the more important for us to make good. I mean, it's not going to go away, this rain isn't now, and we're quite a way away. We're 3 tenths off Hulkenberg's time, and 6 tenths off our personal best. We've really got to make the time up now in this second sector, but with how slippy the track seems to be now, we've really set ourselves a tricky target. Way, we spun it again. Oh, dear. Track's too wet now. We're going to have to just... Oh, this is ridiculous. I don't know how this has happened. How on earth? With the fastest man? Oh, dear. Oh, the session's over. Oh, for goodness sake. Well, controller's disconnected itself again. But because our front wing broke, we had to have repairs. And would you believe it? We qualify in 17th. When we set a time in Q1 that was 6 tenths quicker than Hamilton. Well, Perez got a 10 position penalty. I hope that's not for the incident with us, because that just seems ridiculous. But 17th place. Oh, this is really annoying me now. In a Monaco where you can't overtake. Just think, we could have been on pole, for goodness sake. Oh, we were showing the pace, but once again, a poor strategy call from myself. And we haven't had much luck in that department in qualifying so far in the wet. But you never know. The race might be wet, so let's see what happens. Would you believe it? We could be starting on pole where Alonso is there. And through no fault of Kovalainen's own, because he had a brilliant qualifying, we start behind a Caterham. Oh, this is unbelievable. Although we are 16th because Perez has had his position demoted, as we talked about earlier. But there's 20 laps around this tight track. The start is going to be absolutely crucial. And the lights are out in this Grand Prix. Be a bit dangerous to go around the outside, which is what we're hinted at there, to be fair. Kovalainen's had a good start. We've been not bombed at the start of this Grand Prix, but we've struggled to make any positions. And they all go 2 by 2 up here. Oh, we're going tight with Di Resta. Di Resta's had quite a poor start. This isn't going to end well, is it, for someone? It is so tight round here, and we possibly might see our first safety car of the series. But going up the inside, no, Kovalainen's trying to keep that position. Ricciardo round the outside, and we could have lost a position at the start here, but we're going to just sneak it back up the inside of Ricciardo. But Ricciardo's going to be pretty much forced to the inside on this turn. But as you can see, the front wings of a lot of drivers have gone there because they've just hit the back of one another. And Ricciardo has really been slowed down there. His whole front wing has gone. Well, Kovalainen, credit to him, has made a position up the start. But I can possibly see a safety car here. I mean, look at how far Ricciardo's back. So no danger of being attacked from behind. But we might as well go down to standard, try and save a bit of fuel for later in the race. But safety car, I would guess it would come at some point in this race. But we are getting a bit of a run on Di Resta, actually. Kovalainen in 14th. That's brilliant for him. Di Resta going very slowly around there. I wonder if he's lost a bit of downforce. But it's not like you can just tip it up the inside here because of how tight the corners are. But we're just going to have to take it nice and carefully. Me saying just whacking that post there. And we're going to have our wits about us here just to get past Di Resta safely. But we'll come onto the start-finish straight, get a good acceleration, get the rich mix up. And no, there's 2 drivers out, aren't there? There's 2 drivers out already. Who's out? Perez. Perez has gone. And so has Timo Glock. Well, what happened at the start for them? But we said we wanted to beat the Saubers today, not necessarily by them retiring out of the race. But God, we'll take that. Blimey, Di Resta very slow around the outside, which turns it to the inside. It's role reversal from the first lap, but ultimately Di Resta defends just through his acceleration. I mean, look how far Ricciardo is behind us now. That's absolutely mind-boggling. But unless we get Di Resta soon, who seems to be struggling with some sort of problem, aerodynamic problem, we're going to struggle here. We're going to make a dive up the inside. Di Resta doesn't really leave the most of room. We give him a tap there, but we make the position up. That's all that really matters in this point. And yeah, we've cleared him, and now it's time to go after Heikki Kovalainen, which in the Caterham would sound like an easy task, but it's a harder task than you think, believe me. Well, that didn't take long. It's not even been half a lap. I said we were going to catch up to Kovalainen, and he's gone again. Well, half a second behind Heikki Kovalainen, and Di Resta about half a second behind us. Now we've got to try and dispatch of Heikki Kovalainen. This is the real danger of starting down lower in the grid. I mean, imagine we wouldn't have that to put up with this traffic else, but we've got the KERS, which means we'll get the speed, and let's face it, our car's quicker than the Caterham. Although this could be dangerous, but Kovalainen kind of gives him a little bit because there's no point in really battling around that corner. And that's 2 position gained, and we're up to P14. Oh, someone's going slowly. Hamilton's going slowly. What's happened to Lewis Hamilton? I noticed a lot of people going past him, but we could have a retirement on the cards here, and Hamilton stopped. Well. It's not like Perez and Glock, really. They're not big runners, but Hamilton has just slowed on that bridge straight, and he's come to a halt. And there's already, within 3 laps, the same amount of drivers out of this Monaco Grand Prix. Well, I had to stop there suddenly because I had a coughing fit. But I don't know why I had a coughing fit because I haven't particularly got a cough. But nevertheless, we are back. As I said, Hamilton's out. What a turn up for the books that is. Blimey. But we're up to P13 now. That's another place gained. And this race just seems to be turning up some incredible results at the moment. Who knows? Maybe we might win from 17th at a track you can't overtake on. Well, I've just realised, folks, on the recording while just quickly having a glance at the Elgato, and that we haven't been recording in 1080p so far, so we have changed that now. Apologies, folks, for that. Oh, we're within a second of Kobayashi. But we should be in brisk 1080p now, fingers crossed, so apologies about that, folks. But we're going to cut back pretty much straight away because we're right on the run of Kobayashi. We got the DRS, which seemed to help there. We have got some real pace in this race. Can we sneak it up the inside of Kobayashi? Oh, it's going to be tight. But I don't think we put him in the wall, have we? I don't think we have. I think he's just about missed the wall. But we've got past him nevertheless. We wouldn't want to put both Sauber drivers out, for goodness sake. I mean, Perez out of his own virtue earlier on. But it'd be a bit harsh to get Kobayashi out. But for neither of the Sauber drivers to be in the points, I'm not going to complain about that. We've got DRS again on Felipe Massa this time. We're a lot closer than we were to Kobayashi. Although there's no point diving up the inside, but for some reason Massa's just slowed there. What on earth was he doing? Well, that was a lot easier than I thought it would be. We're up to P11, and from starting in P16, we're on the brink of the points, and that looks like it's Pastor in front of us, so look how slowly he's going. What's up with him? Blimey. Hulkenberg just ahead, and I think we can get him here. Hulkenberg's been put under a bit of, well, not pressure, but been a little bit unalert, really, because of how slow Maldonado's been going, but we haven't quite been able to make the move there. We just want to be careful we don't... A, take out Massa. B, ourselves, we nearly did there. and C, get the move done on Hulkenberg cleanly, which is a little bit harder than it seems sometimes, but I don't think we're going to be able to get him into here, but we should get a good run out of the bus stop chicane. It's not the bus stop chicane, is it? No, what is it? I can't think what the corner's called now. That's bus stops at Belgium, isn't it? Of course it is. So I don't know what I was on about there, but we are closing in on Nico Hulkenberg now. Just got to make sure we don't spin. But Maldonado P9, ourselves P11. If we can get some double points for the team, that'd be fantastic. But for us to beat Maldonado, I wouldn't complain about that. Again, some scruffy driving back there around that corner. I apologise for that. But we'll be within a second of Hulkenberg here, and this looks very good for us. We've got a little bit of DRS as well. Going to go back to standard mix just to save a little bit of fuel. But really, because Hulkenberg's got the DRS himself, it hasn't made much difference, although our closing distance on braking is a lot more than I'd expect. But it might take a bit more of a while to get past this Force India driver. Oh, yellow flag, yellow flag, yellow flag. That's a Ferrari. That's the leader. Alonso's in the wall and he's crashed out. Alonso was in the lead of this race and he's crashed into the wall and there's no way he's getting out of that one. Blimey, Alonso now out of this Grand Prix. It's yet to be confirmed. But put it this way, he's got to be out. He's nestled into the wall. He's whacked his front wing into the wall. And this just seems to be dropping like flies here. And this could really be interesting for the championship. I mean, Alonso's out, Hamilton's out. This would be really interesting for the constructors and the wider battle. Fantastic. Well, amazingly, I think Alonso's still here. I mean, he should be morphed out of the race at some point, and that he'll be disqualified or something, because he can't sit there all day. But we're down to 20 runners in this Grand Prix now, which is quite incredible. I'm wondering how many more will go before the end of the race. I'll tell you what, we keep hitting the wall here. We've lost a bit of our front wing at different points, just chipping the wall. So we will have to have that replaced in the pit stop, which is a bit of a pain in the backside. But we're doing very well here, and I think we're on for a points finish at least. Oh! Oh, God, no. Maldonado's followed Alonso into the wall. Oh, dear. Would you believe this? This is comical. Maldonado's made a mistake at that corner there, and he's followed Alonso into the wall. Oh, goodness me. Well, it is our time to come into the pits. Pretty much half race distance, so let's get into the pit, shall we? We're going to need a front wing replacement, so that's going to take a little bit longer. Looks like Alonso's finally been put out of the race by the virtue of a disqualification or just a DNF coming a little bit late. But Maldonado is also out of this one. It's not going to help us really here that we need a front wing change. But, wow, this is quite the race at the moment. We'll have a look in a minute just at what's going on. Unfortunately, we've lost the position to Kobayashi in the pits, which isn't too brilliant. But if we can, we'll try and get back past him when we come back out, which we're going to try and do now. Just make sure we don't cross the line. Coming out here, we're going to be quite tentative as we are. But yeah, Mark Webber leads this race now. Oh, hold on, right. Let's have a look at the race director. So we've got Button who's pitted, Vettel who's pitted, Schumacher, Raikkonen, Kobayashi and ourselves. We have Carthagena in 14th. That's brilliant. Maldonado's gone. Alonso's still racing for some reason. But no particular race incidents yet. And we've got a Caterham in the points. This is bonkers. We're right on the back of Kobayashi now, and you'll notice Kimi's just in front of us, so I'm fairly sure was in about 6th or 7th before the pit stops happened. So we've got a real opportunity to take advantage. Jesus Christ! What was up with Kimi there? How slow do you want to go? That was crazy. Let's have a look at that on the replay. Look at this. Kimi just brakes, and we have to take evasive action pretty quickly. We were pretty quick. Luckily, we braked because our stopping distance became a little bit longer. Well, a little bit shorter because of our speed that we closed down by. But look at this, how close we were to Kobayashi. If we hadn't took evasive action, I don't know what Kimi was doing there. I wonder whether we'll get penalised for that, because of course it is a yellow flag section here. We're very close to having our own collision again here, getting very close with the Sauber. This is just a race that just keeps on giving, to be honest. But Kobayashi, I noticed, got back ahead. We didn't notice that, did we? Oh, we did cut that corner a little bit, in all fairness. It's our first warning, but we're really up behind Kobayashi now. Around the inside at this corner, it's going to be tight. We've got to be careful. Can't quite make it stick, but we're really close to Kobayashi now. And unfortunately, we can't really overtake the next few corners. Can we go for a dive up the inside here? No, we can't. We tried, but we were a little bit unsuccessful there. We'll have DRS on the front straight. Can we get back into the points again? We can try. There's got to be someone in the pits at this point. Surely we can't have dropped this many points, this many positions in the pits. As you can see, Kovalainen in the pits there. But not really much gained on Kobayashi here, so we've got to get a move on. we really have to get a move on. Remember, only 19 drivers left in this race, so it's a prime opportunity to score some points. But I don't quite know, while the whole, on the minimap, the whole of Sector 2 is under a yellow flag. I'm not sure about that. All right, up the back of Kobayashi again. This is perfect opportunity. He defends to try and keep the position, but I think we're too close this time. And we have just mugged Kobayashi. Brilliant. And now we're up to P9. And now there's a 4.2 second gap to make up with Hulkenberg. Let's go and get 8th place. Well, I think we've got a glitch here, you know, with Massa. Massa's in 4th place, so he should be below us when he comes into the pits. But as you can see, he's still on the option tyres. Now, those wouldn't last too long. But if you think about it, Alonso, for some point, is still in the race. By virtue, for some reason. So, the only thing I can presume is that Alonso is still scheduled to pit on this lap, or whatever lap he's on. So that's bugging the system to make the computer think that Ferrari have already got a pit stop this lap, even though this lap keeps continuing forever. So it might be the case that the system just crashes, well, not crashes, but it gives up and gives Massa the pit stop anyway. Or Massa might be on those options for 20 laps, which I think will probably fade during the end of the race. And near to the end of the race, but it seems that there's not many collisions that are happening now. It's settling down, but I'd definitely take 2 points here, particularly with our teammate out of the race. We need to be getting some good points for the team. Well, we've just set the fastest lap of the race. We've really got on with it here and really set some good laps. And according to that purple pace chart, that would suggest that that is the fastest lap of the race. It shows here, so we're doing really well in terms of our pace. And hopefully we can get up to Hulkenberg by the end. That would be brilliant. Well, Massa just entered the pits. Probably cut a bit before that on camera. I didn't notice. But Massa has just come into the pits 2 laps before the end. Blimey, well, surely he's going to be out of the points now. That stop must have took a while. And to be fair, he must have lost a lot of time on those older tyres. But we're putting some really good laps. He lost Kobayashi. It's just a case of now getting up to Hulkenberg before the end. But time's running out. Another casualty, I just noticed it's gone down to 19 drivers. Daniel Ricciardo now out the race, but unbelievably, Alonso apparently is still racing according to the boards, but which is a bit bizarre. But we've just set, oh, I thought it was going to be another purple lap, then I was getting excited. But very close, but we've really caught up to Hulkenberg now, 1.4 seconds. But is 1.4 seconds going to be enough to achieve 6 points in this race? Let's find out. Oh, hello, Kimi. Oh, for goodness sake. Out the way, what? Oh, for goodness sake. Kimi Räikkönen spun, and we've blooming lost the 2 positions. How's that happened? Oh, for goodness sake, Kimi spun. We got stuck with him. Tried to get a admittedly, I tried to get the flashback on that, but I forgot I haven't got any flashbacks in this race, so that's why we haven't. That's why it's gone really weirdly there, and that it's come to that place in the track. But that's really, that's so annoying. I was just about to follow the last lap with you. We were right behind Hulkenberg. But instead, Kimi spun. He seems to be out of the race. Oh, we nearly hit the wall there. We need to make sure we get a... Oh, that's just really frustrated me. After so much work, we could have been P7, but blooming Kimi decides to spin. I thought, no, we're going to have to take a flashback on that one. Because that was really harsh. The first one we would have took of the race, but... I mean, we are still going to get a point granted here, but that's just really frustrating. Can we get 2 points? We don't want to be stupid here. I thought we were going to get a penalty for corner cutting there, but we can't be stupid here. We just got to make sure we can try and catch up to Massa. I don't think we're going to do it. We're not close enough to him now. I mean, a point's better than nothing, but when it could have been 6, oh, I think that just categorises our season so far, don't you think? Just so unlucky. Oh, I can't hit the wall there, dear me. Luckily, De Resta's quite a way behind, but that is really frustrating. We could have finished 7th. The tail... it's just a tail that could have been so magical, but instead we've finished 10th. Oh, dear. I mean, we would have took a point any other day. But we could have finished 7th. That was a chaotic end. I apologise for that, folks, just because I thought I'd be cheeky and take a flashback there. That's really ruined the spectacle of the end of the race. Oh, dear. Well, De Resta got a penalty, so Kovalainen finishes 11th. But look at all those retirements. For some reason, Alonso has never counted as a retirement. Räikkönen got disqualified, blimey. But a lot of retirements there. But frustratingly, we only finished 10th when we could have been 7th quite easily. That is really, really frustrating. But we'll take 10th. It's a point. We're going to have to get on with it now. But just a look at the championship, obviously because Vettel, Alonso and Kimi retired from the race, it's had a real detrimental effect on Hamilton's title challenge, but a really good one on Button's title challenge. He's 22 points clear of anybody else. Grosjean's had a fantastic start, which is continuing with another 4th place today. But we are still in 7th in the Constructors. But look at that. The gap has really increased to 4th, 5th and 6th. Sauber on 61, Lotus on 60 and Mercedes on 59. We're just not in that bracket anymore. But with 6 points, I mean, it wouldn't have made much difference. But 5 more points we would have took. And that was not a disaster. I think I'm being a bit too dramatic. But I'm a bit gutted about that, to be honest. But a point is a point. We're above Maldonado. It should have been more. Maldonado is in 8th or 9th at one point, which makes the result even more frustrating. It could have been 7th and 8th or 8th and 9th or even 9th and 10th. Just a few more points. But the team are happy with it on the face of it. As I say, I'm gutted about not being able to show you the full Kimi incident there. But I tried to take a flashback and it'd be a bit weird me being in the replay box. But, oh well. That's a shame. Real shame there. And, I mean, to be fair, we said, didn't we, at the start of the episode, oh, this race will be a disaster. We'll be lucky to finish it. But we get a result against Maldonado. Yeah, it's because he retired out of the race. His 2nd one of the year. But Button with another race win. That's got to be what? At least, I'd say at least 2 or 3 wins now. And we're up to the 3rd level, I think, in terms of our XP. And we're on our way to the 4th level. And a good drive there, to be fair. A bit of a scrappy end, unfortunately. All there's rain forecast in Canada. But unfortunately, once again, we showed. But oh dear, look at this. We've only got 1 in terms of our teammate challenge data now. But saying that, we've outraced Maldonado 3 times. Probably because he's crashed out twice. Doesn't really help. To be fair, in Bahrain he did have a mechanical failure. So a little bit harsh to say he crashed out of the race. But 15 points for us, 14 for Maldonado. That's really the only real stat that matters. But that was chaotic to say the least. But I'll be back on Wednesday, folks, with the Canadian Grand Prix. Again, just really frustrated about that. It could have been 6 points, but the race is over. We can't do anything about that now. So I hope you've enjoyed, folks. I've been TIJ Gaming, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.